can you imagine buying house online? Is it possible? COVID and the current booming market in Austin make this process very complicated. Today you will hear a story about a family who moved from Canada to Austin and bought the house online. Hello guys. Hello. Nice to see you again. Hello Vera. Hello, how are you? I'm so happy to be here, and we met last time 4 months ago. Yep. You live here for 4 months, and let's start with the most important question. Is it really possible to buy a house without seeing it at all? Sounds like a joke.
Yeah, so once we had made the decision that we were coming to Austin, I was very excited to find a home, and Kara wanted to have us move here, rent a place, go meet people, walk through the homes, check out the neighborhoods, do all the things that you would typically do. And when we started looking at homes, we realized that once you see something you like, you have 24, 48, maybe 72 hours to really make a decision, right? Mm-hmm. So once we realized that, and we started seeing really great properties online, we knew that, okay, well, there are only so many homes out there, and you can say, oh yeah, when we get there, we'll find something. But at the same time, if you see something you really, really like, sometimes you just have to go for it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Kara was really resistant to the idea, but I kept working on her, and I don't know, Kara, what do you think changed your mind?
Honestly, when you showed me pictures of this house, I was like, okay, this is beautiful. I love it. It was, new, and so the fact that it was new made me less nervous of, having issues with the house or things that the previous owners did that maybe didn't tell us about, or just the fact that everything was new. And it was beautiful, and it was kind of like we manifested it in a way, because it was everything that I had been imagining in a next home, I guess.
For me, it's very interesting to know what is the stuff in this house was expected, or what was unexpected. Could you share, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really easy to think about the unexpected things, because those are the things that truly stand out in the memory. So the first thing is, this house is so easy to keep cool, and I did not imagine that. When we told people we were moving to Austin, everyone said, oh, well, get ready for 100-degree days and having the air conditioning on. And truth be told, during the day, I turn the air conditioning off, and we just keep it on, in the evening, because we like it cool for sleeping.
Keep temperature and atmosphere inside.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we are in the beginning of June, and it's still, we're in here now, the air conditioning's off, and it's very comfortable in here. And it's, it's in the 90s today. So that number one, that's the number one unexpected thing. I did not expect it to be so easy to regulate the temperature in here. I think some of the other aspects, I didn't expect the garage to be as nice as it is. Yeah. And so we park our car outside, our two cars, because we don't want to get the floor dirty in there, because it's such a nice room that we want to use it as part of our living space and not just a dedicated space for our cars to sit. It's not a parking lot, it's part of our house.
Yeah.
So that
how we discuss now about how can we change it, yes? Yeah. To do playing room or something like that.
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful room. It's a really, really big, beautiful room that's bright and clean and expansive, and so it's easy to think in there. Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
By the way, Aaron, in Austin, usually builders don't do paint on the garage, absolutely. Oh. And for me, it was very, very big surprise. Why why guys don't paint in garage and don't do anything on the floor? I can change it. And really, I like this floor as well. And this space, if you put air conditioning, you can use this room.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, those little details.
Maybe
make
like gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's something Kara's thought about. I mean, it makes a big difference, you know. And while you were talking, I thought of a few other things as well that were really kind of a surprise. So, the high ceilings upstairs in two of those bedrooms. Again, we saw that online, and we saw that in the videos and the picture. But and you can read the numbers when you look at the blueprints. But then stepping into the room, you really get a feel for how big the space is.
Yeah.
And even now, when I walk into the master bedroom, I'm amazed by how big it is. So that was unexpected. I knew it, but I just I don't think
I think also for me, what was unexpected is just how pretty everything is, and like seeing the floors and the stairwell I love. And I try to make a point for every time in the morning when I come down the stairs to just like have a moment of gratitude for being in this space. And yeah, I love the stairwell so much in this home. It's so pretty. And we've started to have some people over here, and everyone who comes says, wow, it's just so well constructed. We love your space. It's so interesting and cool. So
What did you use? What is the program? Where did you see MLS or Zillow? How are you looking for it?
Yeah, so Zillow, Trulia, there were a few other, of these websites, and the funny thing is, I came across this house probably in November, a while ago. Saw this, and this was before we were 100% certain that we were going to move. So I saw it then and kind of thought, well, there'll be a house like this, down the line. And at that time, I had no idea, that we would actually end up buying this home and moving into it.
yeah, because I remember you showed me that. I was like, whoa, that's really nice. I love it. But that was before we were prepared to make an offer on anything or do anything. And then I guess the first buyer was under contract, and something happened with financing. So then and we had told our realtor that this was the type of house that we really liked. And our realtor was really great because he kind of stayed on top of the market, and his name is Matt Kinney. And he let us know, hey guys, this place is back up. I think you saw it too. And then he saw it and emailed us. And we were like, okay, it took us, I think, 12 hours. We slept on it, and then we woke up and said, okay, let's make an offer, let's do this. And that's what happened.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really helped with making that decision was the fact, Igor, that you had so much material online about the house. And so some of this, they were the online walkthroughs, and so you could get a feel for the flow of the home, but also hearing you speak about it, because listening to your words was very clear how passionate you were about the construction of the home, how thoughtful you were about it.
Do you mean when we have a Zoom meeting?
Oh,
no?
This is before the Zoom meeting.
Before, okay.
Yeah.
We found a video of you going through the home, and so we were like, oh, and you went through.
It was video, yeah.
Yeah, every part of it, and and it just, you could tell that you put a lot of care and time and love into your homes that you build. So we felt really happy and excited about that.
Yeah, and it was also fun sharing your recorded material with our family and friends, because they knew we were doing this, and they thought we were a little crazy, but I think being able to share that those online resources, to share the videos, and then hearing you talk about the process of the construction, seeing the type of materials that were used, understanding the journey, and the process, that made it easy because people, our friends and family could understand why we were doing this, and then that helped us to feel better about the process of buying without ever stepping foot inside a place.
Yeah, I think when I showed I said, okay, we're moving to Austin, number one. Number two, we already bought a house. And then I sent them the videos and they said, wow, we absolutely love it. It's amazing. Congratulations. Instead of like, is this a good idea? I think there was one moment where I said, Aaron, is this some elaborate scam? And are we going to wire this money and lose it? And I think there was a minute where we thought, oh my goodness. But then I talked to my realtor about that and he laughed and said, no, that it's not a scam. This is real.
Yeah, and that last part though, that's really important. Having, the right realtor for this, and the realtor we used, Matt Kinney, he told us about 50% of his clients now buy sight unseen.
Did you know these guys before?
Yeah, I just found him online. I was on Instagram and somebody had posted that who I follow, she bought a house with him and she said, and he says he specializes in relocations. So kind of we just felt like, okay, let's go with him. And then we had a phone call with him. And then the selling realtor, Hannah, so she was really great too. And then we did have the Zoom meeting. I think it was like before we put the offer in, but then anyways, we had a Zoom meeting with you and Hannah, and our realtor.
By the way, I have a question about this Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
What was your feeling? Because really, you saw this guy. He don't know English. Yeah. What is your feeling was?
We actually felt like we knew you already because we watched so many videos with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and we, in Vancouver, we lived in a very international neighborhood. So, I mean, it's fine, right?
Yeah, for you it was fine, yeah.
Yeah, totally normal, yeah. But it actually, the fact that you wanted to meet, that told us that you cared about who was moving into the home. Because, you could just sell it without checking anything or, and it turns out we'll be neighbors, right? So that that makes a whole lot of sense. So you're building a very beautiful home just a couple doors down. But yeah, no, the Zoom meeting was very helpful and it made it feel very real.
Yeah, you're from Vancouver, and can you remember this moment? How I remember you. You were driving maybe 2 weeks, yes? 2 weeks from Vancouver to, yes. I know
18 days.
18 days. You stopped by your friends, your relatives, yes? And can you remember now this moment when you came to house first time? It's like first impression, how it was?
We drove two vehicles, and so Kara and I were separate, and Kara was with Vera, and so I think we had this. We were on the phone together actually, when we came in, because we wanted to experience it simultaneously. So anyway, I'll let Kara.
No, I think we were just really happy with it. We came, and then it was great because you met us here, and that was really nice. And I just was really excited. I mean, the house looked like I thought it would from the inside, but the surroundings and the views from the balcony were better than I thought they would be. And just the fact that there's a park near, you can never really tell from just looking on pictures what the surrounding area is like. We did the Google Maps driving, satellite thing, but it doesn't look the same. So yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. I loved it. We were really happy right away.
Yeah, I really agree with what you said about the surrounding area. So the home we felt like we knew because we had already seen so much of it. But we were blown away by the way that the home was contextualized in the forest here, within the neighborhood, and the way it was just, so snugly fits, right? Here, in this area, and I mean that you never really can get a feel for until you actually are standing in front of it. So it was a moment of disbelief, just wow, we're here, this is real, and then just a moment of incredible gratitude that.
And then We didn't have a bed, so our realtor dropped off an air mattress for us.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Because I think our things arrived a week or so later. Or no, a few days later, actually. So it all kind of worked out. So, yeah.
Vera, what is your feeling was
Yeah, what did you think
Yeah.
about the house?
when you came first time?
I don't really know.
Did you like it?
Yeah, but I was more focused on getting a cat.
She was more focused on getting a cat, which we didn't get yet. But we promised her a cat. With this
It
move.
will be next step. Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think when you saw your room?
Well, first I wanted the bigger room, like the other bigger room, but now I realize that I like my room more until the light fell out.
My next question about change lifestyle. You lived in big cities, megapolis, Vancouver, and now we live in a natural area. How it was change lifestyle?
Me. Well, we lived in a lot of cities actually. So we were just in Vancouver area for about 3.5 years. And before that, we were in Los Angeles. And
But
before,
Los Angeles, it's also big.
yeah, we were in a
It's a
lot of
big
big
city,
cities.
yes.
So yeah, this is the least big city like. But this is the first time we've ever had a yard, which we're really liking, and the nature and just seeing deer walking around in our backyards. And
Yeah. Oh, and you left out that before we were in Los Angeles, we lived in Manhattan.
Wow.
So we had been in big cities most of our lives. I was born in Chicago, and so it's like a lifetime of being in big cities. So it's a bit of an adjustment because in Vancouver we had the SkyTrain, and so for years I was able to take the train everywhere, really never get into the car. I would buy gas, no kidding, like every other month. It was really that kind of lifestyle. And so, there's certain perks to that, and then being able to walk to stores, all that type of thing. Yeah. But there's this tremendous trade-off, like Kara was saying, having the trees and the river in the distance, the creek, the bugs, singing to us every night, the birds chirping in the morning. This morning I saw a deer and a little fawn, running down the road as I was sitting on the front porch having my coffee and just watching them and waving hi to them. And these are really magical experiences, and it's just really the right time in our lives for this. So it's the transition is easier than I thought, and I think one of the things that really made it possible is that I work remotely, and more people are doing this. But the fact that I do work from home, I don't have to travel as much to begin with, and so I can live 30 minutes or whatever from downtown Austin, and it's not a big deal. So yeah, it's actually much easier than I thought it would be.
we actually go into Austin quite a bit. It just takes about 35 minutes. We have our favorite pizza place that we've been to, I think.
Yeah. How often you go to the downtown? How often?
Like once a week?
Once a week?
What do you think? Maybe more?
Yeah, so I probably so on the weekend we normally go down once a weekend, and there are places we like to shop, and like Kara said, we have some of our favorite restaurants.
It doesn't feel so isolated here. I mean, we can. It's a 15-minute drive to Bee Cave.
Yes, I like, by the
Yeah.
way, Hill Country Gallery.
Yeah, Hill
yes.
Country Galleria. There's still lots of people around.
Okay, COVID's still not finished, and a lot of people wants to buy house online. What is your recommendation for these people who wants to buy house online?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the COVID changed so many aspects of our lives. It changed the way we work. It changed the way we buy homes. And so I think some of these things will never go back to the way they were before, because we're learning how to live in a different way. We're learning how to be more flexible. And I think that's really a good thing. So I think my recommendation, and Kara, please help me out with this, but is really, number one, following your heart and your intuition, every step of the way, with this type of thing, with this move, because it's about trust. And whereas, if you're physically in a house and you meet everyone, you sign all the papers, you're there to oversee every step of the process, right? You can supervise, right? And then there's not as much room for trust, right? But in being so far removed, that really is the core element. And so you have to find the people and the place that makes you feel good, right? That feels right. And so for us, we're very fortunate that it happened as quickly as it did, and it happened the way that it happened. And so a lot of things go into this. The ingredients making this work. Knowing what you're looking for in a destination, if you're looking to relocate, like what matters to you as a person. But then also having a realtor, someone you have a good relationship with, maybe friends or other people who can vouch for this person, and and having a realtor who will meet with you, and you can have a video call, and you can see this person's face, right? Because you will have to trust that person, and that person will be going through these properties. They will be talking to the other agents. They will be talking to builders and previous owners and all of this, right? And then the trust, that the trust is also with the people who constructed the home, or in other cases the previous owner, and so establishing that kind of trust as well.
I have a recommendation. I just think that you should just buy a house from Igor.